Hello, in this video I'm going to do a very short review of the DD Hammocks camping hammock and answer the question, is it any good? If you stick around until part 2, I'll also go on to talk about the many benefits of hammock camping. Now, the DD hammock is a really good example of how good doesn't need to be expensive. And this costs just £27.50 at December 2022 prices, so it's a bit of a bargain. The hammock is 2.7 metres long and 1.4 metres wide, so it's a long, wide hammock. It'll accommodate people up to 6'5" in height and up to 125 kilos in weight, so it will handle big and tall people as well as those who are a little bit smaller. Now, the hammock has this really good two-layer system, so you've got the kind of main layer there, and then within that you've got a separate layer, and this is accessed through a zip on the side here. And the purpose of this is you can actually put a sleeping mat or a sleeping pad in this layer here, zip that up, and then when you lie on top of it, it doesn't slip about too much, so you can have extra insulation below you if you need to. It's important to remember when you're sleeping in a hammock that because you're lying on top of your sleeping bag, you're actually compressing it, and that means it's not going to be as effective at insulating you from below as it is on the top. That can result in a cold bum. Now, this doesn't matter so much if you're in a ground-based system because you're generally on a sleeping mat, and the mat's job is to protect you from the ground and the cold, provide insulation as much as it is comfort. So actually having that dual layer is a really good idea in winter. Now, in the summer months when it's a lot warmer and you don't need any insulation below you, I actually prefer to zip myself up in between the two layers rather than actually lie on top. And the reason for that is it actually protects me from all the mosquitoes and the bugs, so it makes for a more comfortable night. I also find it creates its own little microclimate, so you make up a little bit warmer. It's a bit like being in a tent. The downside is you do get a little bit of condensation, but it's not a terrible amount because the material itself is this really breathable nylon. So while you do get a little bit damp around the head area, it's nothing that's going to cause any real problems. Now, I weigh 90 kilos and that single layer supports my weight absolutely fine, but just be aware, if you are a lot heavier than that, you might need to think about twice before using the single layer and actually maybe just lie on top instead. And if you're thinking the same thing I am, and that is, I'm thinking of Heimlich from The Bug's Life. Oh, I wake up into a beautiful butterfly. Now, it comes with 10 metres of nylon webbing to use as a suspension strap, and while you can get more technical and lighter weight upgrades, this is perfectly adequate. To tie the hammock with the supplied suspension straps, it's really easy. All you need to do is cut it to your tree, loop it around. Again, so just nice and looped to leave a little bit of slack. Again, just loop it around like this. You can do that a couple of times. And then to tie it off, all you do is a standard bow knot, aka shoelace knot. So you just tie it in there, just like you're tying a shoe. Pull that tight. Pull that strap, and that is not going to go anywhere. You can sleep on that, that will not shift. And the benefit of this knot is, if you do need to leave in a hurry, all you do is you pull one side, pull that out, unwrap it, and you can bug out quickly if you need to. The regular hammock weighs 650 grams, and combined with the regular DD tarp, this is still a lightweight system, and it's really good to use. So to answer that question, is this a good hammock? Yes, it is. It's cheap, it's good value, it's also very effective and very comfortable. And I've had this now for about 8 years, and I've used it a number of times, and it's a really nice system to use, so I would definitely recommend this hammock. If you stick around for part 2, I'll explain some of the many benefits of hammock camping and why I now prefer to sleep in a hammock as opposed to sleeping on the ground.